What's up, guys? Today we're doing an honest review for Out of War. Here's a screen when you first come into the game. Take a good look at it. Take a good look at what you're getting. Not a AAA game. They want $25 for it on Steam. Okay, I don't feel like there's a lot of options for the game if you want like a minimal start without starting with like $10 billion. The reason for that is there's a lot of problems. Number one, you got like the terrain, which it doesn't seem like this would be a big problem, right? It doesn't look terribly bumpy. In fact, I watched this video where this man was going around with a shovel and he was like constantly doing this, flattening things out, while his friend was digging out with the machinery. And I was like, yeah, that looks unnecessary. But then when I started playing the game myself, I saw that it was not unnecessary. Let me just get rid of this audio. Because the thing, it just does not take the bumps very well. And when you get a bunch of weight in the scoop there, it takes the bumps even worse. I am a strictly mouse and keyboard gamer. I do not even own a controller. Let me tell you, if that's the case with you, playing this game ain't gonna work out so well. Okay, I don't know what it would be like with a controller, but I know if I didn't have my joystick that I bought for Event Dangerous, the worst space game ever, that I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to play this game. But anyway, let me show you. The controls, I don't know who set the controls, man, but they seriously didn't know what they were doing because user friendly is definitely not a word I would use. Okay, it works a lot better because number one, I went in and messed with the controls. And number two, I've driven machinery in real life. So I know that, little things like sometimes driving backwards is the best thing to do. See, you being a normal person who's never operated heavy machinery wouldn't know that. So driving backwards would be very counterintuitive to you. So look at this hard time I'm having getting this in there. And you can see my money is at 139. Get it close. And you can see how much it's bouncing. Now my money's went up about 6,000 with that scoop, and that's only because that was a big scoop. Alright, I had to lay all these wood pieces that trying to snap them together is horrendous. Just horrendous. To make it so that I could make it from point A to point B to, to dump this stuff without spending all day in transit. Another thing, finding ore is difficult. They say, like, look at the dark spots. Like the dark spot in the grass right there. This is coal that was under it. But, coal does not make a lot. So, like, where's the iron? There are maps where you can start, like, with an iron mine. But, do I really want to start the game with things handed to me, or do I want a nice smooth arc of, progress. That's what I like. I don't like too easy. I like a nice smooth arc. Now let's look at the store. Vehicles. Vehicles are really expensive. It took me a long time. I started with 100,000, then I bought some things, just what I needed. And it took a long time to get back up here to 145. You buy something like this, and then it's gonna fit what, 3 or 4 scoops in it, and then you gotta drive it over here. I don't know if that's worth it. I really don't. Uh, let's see. This is the front end loader, wheel loader, whatever that I have now. I've got money for a better one, but how much better would it be? See, I could click around and show you the details, but yeah, that it's not real telling. If you know what I mean. There's a lot of stuff that you're leveled out of, and some of these things, like one of these right here, costs like over $1 million, which would take you forever to make. Excavators are like impossible to operate in this game. I mean, unless you want to spend like an hour messing around with the controls. I don't. This is for making a road because you can't just drive someplace because the terrain is so messed up. Graders, you're going to be leveled out of them for a while, and I'm sure they cost a fortune anyway. All the good stuff like a tunneler, you're gonna be leveled out of that for a while. Pickup trucks, I don't know what good they would be. And you got your factory stuff. The descriptions aren't very good. The tutorial is just whacked. It doesn't work very good. From the little bit of work I did in the tutorial, things didn't really snap together right. Uh, it's like counterintuitive. Basically, what I've said before about all games, you got no business buying them until they've been out for 2 or 3 years, because they're just gonna be trash. But even so, I know you've seen videos on this game, so I want you to understand what this game consists of. This game consists of is driving over here, getting a scoop, driving back over here, putting the scoop in there, or a different hopper, then driving back over here, getting the scoop, then driving back over here, then putting the scoop in there. That is the game. It's not like Farming Simulator where you can hire a worker to do the boring part. When you get tired of going back across the field with that plow in Farming Simulator, so you hire a worker so your brain doesn't turn to goo and slide out of your ear. Yeah, you're not doing that here, homie. You are the one who would drive over there, get the scoop, and then drive back over here over and over again. That's gonna be you. That's the game. There's other things like you can chop trees and make them into things and sell them. It's just look like fun to you. And then you'll come over to this bench You drag the wood over because you can't pop it over. They say, oh, you can pop it over. I lied. And so for here, so that eventually gets done, and then you move it over here. You're not making much money on it, but anyway, the trees don't grow back anytime soon. But it's not called Forestry Simulator, it's called Mining Simulator. So like I told you, back and forth, scooping, that's the game. Spend $25 to do that. I mean, you couldn't pay me enough to be an equipment operator in real life. It's so boring. First hour, it's fun. Driving this big machine, doing all this big stuff, especially if you're smashing stuff with it. And after that, oh man, it's so boring. But you go to Steam and pay $25 to do that, if that's what you want to do. See you later.